Okay, welcome to our live meditation class for Monday, November 21st. It's our morning class, which is evening for most of you who are joining in. Thanks for joining us, Linda, Hannah, Madeline, Donna, and Ulrika. I thought I would start with a short teaching talk about when discomfort and tension arises, because one thing that has been standing out to me in our discussion about somatic meditation over the last week, maybe, is some discussion about discomfort, tension, and resistance that's coming up in practice. And not just like a little bit of discomfort, but like when a lot of discomfort comes up, really like when we're talking about something when really uncomfortable things come up, when it's really difficult to stay with it. So I thought I would address this today. It's true that sometimes this meditation can be a practice of letting go and you experience a lot of surrender and ease, but it's also true that other times it can be quite edgy and quite uncomfortable. So today I want to talk about when our practice feels like it becomes too much and maybe even unbearable. Because the habit to seek comfort and ease and control at all costs is a habit. And so when a feeling of distress and intense energy arises, it can cause us anxiety, it can cause a lot of fear, and it can cause the same kind of walling off that we often experience with resistance in the first place. So I want to normalize it in the first place, that it's completely normal. When you do this meditation, you will experience it at some point. Nobody is going to be immune to it. And the distress is beginning to reveal to us how much we have actually walled off and how much we've repressed the actual intense experience of our bodies and energies. And so it's not uncommon when you start to meditate with your body in such an intimate way, in such a somatic way, tuning into the sensations of your body, that you're going to uncover painful tension. And tension refers to experiences in your physical body, but it's also something that exists as a result of your ego mind. So this activity of holding or tensing or freezing, ironically or not ironically, these two kinds of tensions are actually one and the same kind of thing. So initially we start to become aware of tightness in our body, but later through the depth of our practice, we discover it's actually us who is holding on. It's us who's tensing our bodies. So there's actually no tension in our body independent of us and what we are doing moment by moment. So tension can come up as numbness. We might feel kind of a solidity in our body. We might feel tightness in our body. We might feel pain in our body. There might be really strong emotional states. It might be that kind of subtle tension we feel when we withdraw from an emotional experience. And I know those of you who've done this meditation, you're familiar with all the kind of flavors of these. And all these forms of somatic discomfort imply some kind of holding, some kind of stuckness, or locking or lack of movement. But it's all good news. It's all good news. There's no need to worry about any of it. When we become aware of the discomfort, it means that movement has already started to happen. Our body is in a lot of discomfort. There's a lot of holding. There's a lot of tightness that happens. And as your awareness develops, you begin to realize that the subliminal and the habitual response is maybe an unconscious or maybe even just a barely conscious pattern of freezing. And we're holding on for all we're worth. There's kind of this fearful, paranoid tensing so we don't have to feel. And we've been doing this for years, decades, and our whole life. So it's a habit. and one that we're starting to bring awareness to through this meditation. Now, our reaction to this kind of discomfort, this kind of walling off, is fear, anxiety, dread, panic. This is the kind of beginning of ego realization. It's a challenge to our solid self, and it's quite distressing and uncomfortable. These emotions can kind of morph into something we can kind of control a little bit more too, kind of irritation, anger, neediness, pride, desire. We also attach these things to some kind of narrative story that locates them in reference to the story of I, watch that when that starts to happen. And we might even try to deny the intensity of our emotions by tensing and freezing our body against what we're feeling. But over time, as we do this practice, we start to become aware of our own internal process. And it'll be, the flavor of it will be unique to each one of us. But what happens is first something distressing arises. And then we feel that kind of anxiety or fear or dread or panic, or maybe it's a little bit more subtle. Maybe we fear that irritation, that anger, that neediness, that pride, or that story that we start to attach it to. And we react with the irritation, the anger, the pride, the story, and we tense our body against it. And all this happens in a second or two. But the more we become aware of this process as it unfolds, we start to see it quite clearly. So that's the practice. And a lot of you have spoken to me about how you're starting to see this, how this unconscious pattern is starting to become more and more conscious in your lives. So the question is, how do we handle this unpleasant somatic feeling of freezing up? Even though the experience of tensing and tightening and solidifying, or the shaky legs and all that kind of thing, even though it's so unpleasant and we recoil from our experience and freeze, how do we handle this when it happens? So the first thing to know is that it is completely normal to turn our attention away from the unpleasantness, the tightening and tension. And to know that it's what we're going to do when it comes up is that we're going to shut out our body's feeling and we're going to retreat into conceptual thinking. But the more we shut out our body, the more we go into obsessive thinking. And this kind of compulsive thinking is in direct proportion to our unwillingness to experience what's happening in our body in a direct way. So when you notice you going into this kind of compulsive thinking, this obsessive thinking, the stories around I, this kind of conceptual thinking, it's a good sign that you've started to dissociate it from your body. So all that to say that the appearance of discomfort, the appearance of big time discomfort, is actually really, 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 really good news. I can't underscore that enough. It's good news. It actually marks the beginning of the reversing of the development and the fortification of our ego. So I really want to underscore this. When we come to this kind of really uncomfortable experiences in our meditation, you want to be like, yay, this is the best thing that could be happening, because it's the beginning of the reversing and the development of the fortification of our ego. So by meditating with your body, engaging in the discomfort and tension, we start to unravel the layers of our self-concept. So, your mind's going to start to tell you all these stories. Oh, so-and-so always has all these blissful experiences and peaceful experiences, and I'm always in this really tension land and stuff. Great, good. You're progressing on the path. It's great. You're in a really good place. You're unraveling your ego. Just know that you're really, really, really in the right place. Because the first step of moving from a state of numbness is to coming into discomfort. And you're starting to move through the layers of discomfort. Sometimes you're going to feel great peace and joy, but the more you peel back through these layers of the onion and move deeper into your body, the more subtle and transparent the somatic experience is going to be. You're going to move into deeper and deeper levels of emotion, feelings, sensations, moods, and felt sensation. And eventually, you're going to arrive at the core of your being, the empty space in the center of your being, which is open and free, and the ego is going to become a distant dream. So discomfort is far, far from a problem. It's actually what you've been looking for. It's not something that's wrong. It's not something for you to push or resist against. And resistance is really a positive development and a true marker of progress in your somatic meditation. So you can welcome it, and you can approach it with an attitude of openness and curiosity, and really take it that this discomfort is a sign that your meditation is succeeding, that you're having success with your somatic meditation. It's a real sign that your body is actually communicating with you. And it's distress is an expression of your body's deepest wisdom. Know that discomfort is always a message from your body, that you're holding on too tightly to your sense of self. And it's this beautiful invitation for you to relax, open, and surrender. So that is what I wanted to share with you this morning. And I hope it puts those kind of intense meditations in some kind of context for you. I hope that's helpful. So I'll just open it up and see if there's any questions about that before we go on to setting intention for today. So yeah, I'll open that up and see if there's any questions first.
Oh, I have one. So if I feel like a jerky movement, am I supposed to just like let it, not just don't give in to the jerk, like that sensation, and just like relax and let go, right? I'm just supposed to let go.
So it's exactly the same as the training that we do when you go into the toe and you feel the pain in the toe. So you don't resist it, you go right into it. I think that's probably one of the more difficult physical sensations to be with, where you go right into it, you be with it, you try to find the core of that sensation and go right into it, feel it, heighten it as much as you can, be with it. So trying not to wall it off, try to go as deeply into it as you can, and yes, let it go. But if it's still there, then you're going back into it again, finding it, going into it, and seeing how you can release it into the ground. But you just have to keep going into it and letting it go. It may be that your whole meditation is being with that kind of restless leg syndrome. But I think when that comes up, it's like that very good news. It's your body letting go in a really big way.
Thank you.
I wanted to give this context, but it's also like a yoga pose that you get to choose your edge too, right? If it ever becomes too much, you get to back off. But I think that the longer you practice too, your ability to be with a stronger edge, you develop capacity to be with a bigger edge the more you practice too. Would you not agree, for those of you that have been practicing for longer? Yeah, your ability to hold space for yourself expands as well.
Yeah.
And it changes every time, yeah. Mm-hmm. For me, it's very clear that this whole meditation is not a linear experience. It goes up and down, and sometimes you get this bliss feeling and think, I'm so relaxed, and the next time I am so annoyed by all the distractions. But yeah, for me, what helps me is to stay curious. Like, hey, what's happening now and why? And also, yeah, I'm quite annoyed lately, a couple of days now, because it is not pleasant. It's not nice, and all the good sleeping I had for the last 2 weeks is gone, and I'm sleeping bad again. So I'm really pissed off. Like, why is this happening? But as soon as I ask myself the question of why, I tell myself it's not about why. It happens, and that's, for me, does the trick. Because when I ask myself why, and I want to know why, then I'm going to make stories.
Yeah, you go
So
into the story about I, and it totally becomes
why?
an ego story.
No, it's not important. It's just, so by accepting it, it's not easy, but it helps. Yeah, makes it easier.
Any other thoughts about this before we go into intention? Okay, so we'll go around and you can state your name, where you're connecting from, and what you want to receive from your practice today then.
I'm Madeline Hildy, and I am from Traverse City, Michigan, and my intention is to let go and see what happens and just relax.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm Hannah. I'm in the UK, and it's 5:30 in the afternoon. My intention is really to keep listening. I've been told to nurture the last few days, and I'm adhering to that, so to speak. I'm curious because I'm meditating quite a bit today, how that's going to continue. So it's curiosity as well as listening, I think.
Okay, thanks, Hannah.
Okay, I'm Linda from Holland, the Netherlands, and it's 6:30 in the evening. And my intention is to stay open to what I feel.
Okay, thanks, Linda.
Well, I'm from the same time zone, so I'm Ulrika from Sweden, in Umeå, Sweden, and I was so happy to realize that, I have a free Monday night. I can be part of this meditation. I think my intention is to continue the retreat from yesterday in some kind of way.
Thank you.
I'm Ivy, and I'm from New York State in the States, and it's about 12:30. And my intention is to kind of connect up with what's inside me right now.
Thanks, Ivy.
I'm Donna. I'm from Scotland, and I would like to reconnect with my body.
Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. And go ahead and rest back. I'm going to mute everybody. Go ahead and lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Place your feet a comfortable distance from your buttocks so that your low back and your hips are comfortable. You may want to place a small pillow underneath your head if your chin and your forehead aren't on the same level. And if you think you may get chilly, you can also pull a blanket up over top of you. Just make yourself as comfortable as possible. Cross your hands over your lower belly to gather your energy and awareness towards the core of your body. And feel the earth underneath you. Let your body sink down into the earth. Feel yourself supported by the earth. Allow yourself to begin to relax. And just check in again with the comfort of your position. Make sure you're fully relaxed through your low back, through your pelvis, so that your body's not strained in any way. And let go of any holding. So you completely relax the muscles in your low back and inner thighs, so there's no effort or holding at all. Notice what it's like to come to your mat right now, to have this relationship with your body, to notice how your body's responding to you. To notice how your body's beginning to relax and let go, just as you begin to take this position and lie down on the earth. Feel your 2 feet, the 2 sides of your buttocks, your mid-back, your 2 shoulder blades, your 2 elbows, and your head. And allow these parts to relax and connect more deeply with the earth. Feeling the earth underneath you, allowing your body to surrender to gravity. Feeling yourself develop a sense of depth and grounding in relation to the earth underneath you. Beginning by putting your awareness into your feet, starting with your big toe. Let your awareness go right into your big toe. Feeling the tension of the big toe mound, the neck of the big toe, the bones of the big toe, and the ball of the big toe joint where it connects with your foot. Allow yourself to go right into the tension. Feel the aliveness in your big toes. Breathe into your big toes. And on your breath out, allow the tension to release down into the earth. Notice how relaxed your big toes are. And then move into your second toes. Feel the tension, feel the withdrawing of your second toe, the curling, the retraction. Feel the neck of your big toe mound, where your big toe connects into your foot. Breathe into your second toe. Notice as you put your awareness into your second toe that your second toe begins to relax into the earth. It begins to lengthen out, elongate. And then moving to your third toe, feeling the tension, the tightness, the withdrawing of your third toe, right into the ball joint where your third toe connects with your foot. Allow yourself to drop right into the tension in your third toe. Then allow that tension to dissolve down into the earth. Moving on to your fourth toe. Feeling the tension, the tightness, the holding on in your fourth toe. Feeling the retraction. Allowing yourself to go right into it. And as you do that, notice that there's permission to begin to let go, that you don't have to hold on anymore. And you can start to feel your toes lengthening, your fourth toe lengthening, and you may even start to feel some letting go in other parts of your body, maybe your sacrum, maybe your neck, maybe your shoulders. And just go with that relaxation that's happening throughout the rest of your body as well. And then feeling into your baby toe. You might feel very curled up, withdrawn, tight, drawing back. Maybe there's a numbness there, a density. See how much you can put your awareness right into your baby toe, the baby toenail, the underside of your baby toe, the connection to the foot there, the outside of your baby toe, the inside of your baby toe. And as you do, notice there's a softening, a letting go, a lengthening, a relaxation. And so now you're feeling all 5 toes lengthening, elongating, becoming more of who they are. And perhaps you're feeling some letting go elsewhere in your body, maybe in your inner thighs, maybe in your pelvic floor, maybe a softening in your jaw and space between your teeth and your tongue, maybe a softening in your belly. Just notice what's happening. Following the tension in your body, breathing into your toes, noticing any remaining tension in your toes. And on the breath out, let that tension go down into the earth. And then coming back behind your toes into the ball of the foot, behind your toes. Feeling the density, feeling the tightness, feeling the tension behind the balls of the toes, behind the toes, the necks of the toes. Allowing yourself to go right into that tension and density. And notice that the awareness of the density and the tension itself begins to mark a shift of it. That you don't really have to do anything at all. That in going into the density, into the tension, into the numbness, into the holding, that a shift begins to happen all on its own. You can notice a softening, a releasing, a letting go that begins to happen as the ball of your foot begins to release and let go into the earth. And you can start to feel a spreading out of your toes and the ball of your foot into the earth and a softening. Maybe there's some softening that happens elsewhere in your body, maybe in your jaw, maybe in your pelvis. Keep breathing. So now you're moving into the arch of your foot, feeling the lift there, feeling the tremendous amount of tightness there, maybe even some pain. And again, dropping your awareness right into the arch of your foot, going right into it. So not trying to solve the tension at all at first, just letting your awareness go right into that tension, becoming the tension, going right into the arch of your foot. And the more you meld with the arch of your foot, the more you become that tension, that pain, that holding on, the more you connect with that tension and become part of it, it starts to let go. You can feel that dissolving of the tension in the arch of the foot start to roll down either side of the arch of the foot, through the front and the back of the arch of the foot, down through the arch into the earth itself. And then bringing your awareness to the band of tension that exists on the outside edge of your foot. Feeling into that band of tension very tight. And allow yourself to enter right into it, just like you have the other parts of your body, other parts of your foot. Go right into the holding, go right into the tension. Noticing when you do, other parts of your body may start to let go. Maybe your shoulders release. And then there may be some softening and letting go of that ribbon along the outside of your foot, and it becomes softer. Follow that down into the earth underneath you. We're peeling back the layers of the onion. So as you start to let go of one layer of tension, you may start to become aware of other layers of tension, maybe up to the outsides of your lower legs, maybe your calves. Maybe there's some more tension that starts to reveal itself in the arches of your foot. Just keep following the tension that reveals itself. The deeper you go, the more you peel back the layers of the onion, the more layers of tension will reveal themselves. And as we said in the talk at the beginning, this is good news. This is very good news. It's always a message that you're holding on too tightly to your sense of self, and it's an invitation for you to relax, open, and surrender. So go into that message, that tension that's just revealed itself to you. It's a sign that your body is communicating information that's needing to come to your awareness. So go into that message, that beautiful wisdom from your body. Go into that tension and allow it to drop down into the earth. Keep approaching this with an attitude of openness and curiosity. And we'll keep moving through these layers of discomfort. Go into your heel. Feel the pain, feel the discomfort, feel the holding on in your heel. And then let that dissolve and move down through your heel like a funnel into the ground. So remember, in engaging with the discomfort, you're starting to unravel those layers of your self-concept. And then become aware of your ankle bone on the inside, your ankle bone on the outside. Feel the tension and let it dissolve down through the earth and into the ground. So feeling your whole foot now, feeling any remaining tension in your foot. And remember, any remaining tension in your foot is far from a problem. It's exactly what you've been looking for. It's not that anything is wrong here. It's a positive development. It's a marker of progress here. So you can welcome it. Welcome the remaining tension in your foot. It's good news. Go into the remaining tension in your feet. And allow it to dissolve down into the ground. So maybe your feet are completely relaxed now, and we're moving into our lower legs, feeling the tension in your shins, your shin bones, going right into the bones. So remember that tension may show up as numbness or solidity. Feeling into that and then letting that dissolve down through your shin bone, down through your foot and into the ground. And then tuning into your Achilles tendon at the back of your heel, feeling into the tightness and the pain there. Letting that softness and letting it soften and go right into the ground, going into the earth. And then feeling into your calf muscles, feeling the denseness, feeling the numbness, feeling the solidity in the calf muscles, the backs of your lower legs. Feeling the holding on. Remember, you don't have to hold on anymore. You have permission to release and let go. And you can let that release and let go into the ground. And then coming into your knees, feeling the tension underneath your kneecaps, inside of your knee joints, the outside of your knee joints. Allowing that tension to dissolve right down through your lower legs, through your feet, and into the ground. So feeling your whole lower legs, your knees, your shins, your calves, your ankles, and your feet. And feeling that process of letting go happening through your lower legs, through your ankles, through your feet, and into the ground. And then become aware of your buttocks. Feel the holding on in your buttocks. Feel the tightness, the tension. And allow your buttocks to soften and let go, to sink into the earth, to spread and drop and let go. So know that you don't have to hold on anymore. Know that you can release and let go. Become aware of the bones of your pelvis. Bones hold tension as much as muscles and tendons. So feel the soreness, the tension, the holding on in the bones of your pelvis. And allow that to dissolve down on either side of your pelvis, down through your buttocks, down into the earth. Feel your sacrum on the ground. Feel the tightness, feel the soreness, feel the holding on there. And let that settle and release and let go into the earth. Become aware of your tailbone. Feel the tightness in your tailbone. And allow it to soften, relax, and drop into the earth a little bit more. Feel the tightness in your hip bones, the iliac crest at the top of your pelvis. Let that soften and dissolve. Let the whole pelvic bowl be soft and relaxed, dissolving, letting go. Bring your awareness to your pelvic floor, feeling the tension and the holding on. Going right into the tension there. Through the anus, through the perineum, through the genitals. And let that soften. When that softens, notice other parts of your pelvic bowl softening. Maybe there's a softening through the front of your pelvic bowl. Softening of your pubic bone. Come into the organs of your pelvis. So organs either energetic or still there. So whether your organs have been removed or whether they're still there, there's an energetic space for those organs. So coming to the organs of your pelvic bowl, feeling the tension of the organs of your pelvic bowl, the feminine organs, the womb, the fallopian tubes. Allowing these to soften and let go, release. Feeling the tension, going into the tension, allowing them to soften and let go. Coming up into the organs of your belly, your small and large intestines, feeling the tension there, feeling the holding on. Very tight. Letting the large intestines soften, letting them let go. Notice how your buttocks and your pelvis relaxes and lets go into the ground a little bit more as you soften the internal organs of your pelvic bowl a little bit more. Coming to the muscles of your upper legs, feel your quads, the muscles on the tops of your upper legs. Feel the tightness, feel the holding on there. Know that you don't have to hold on anymore. Allow these muscles to soften. Let them release and let go. Let them drop down through your pelvis, down through the tops of your leg bones, down through the softness of your buttocks and into the earth. Feeling the tension in your upper leg bones, going right into the tension of your upper leg bones. The top of your femur bone, letting that soften, letting that tension travel down through your buttocks and into the earth. Feeling the tension at the backs of your upper legs, letting that soften and drop down through the earth, through your buttocks into the earth. So now your upper legs are completely relaxed. All the tension is traveling down through your upper legs, through your buttocks and into the earth. So feel the relaxation of your lower body through your buttocks, through your legs, through your feet and into the earth. And just notice how good it feels to feel your lower body resting, sinking, and dropping into the earth. And as you breathe in, if you feel any remaining tension there, breathe into that tension, go into the tension, and then let it go and drop it into the earth on your breath out. And then moving into your mid back, feeling the connection between your lower ribs and the ground. Feeling any tightness and tension at the base of your sternum. Feeling any tension at the outside of your rib cage. Feeling any holding on and allowing that to let go as it travels around the sides of your ribs and into the ground. Feel your elbows heavy on the ground. And then become aware of your shoulder blades heavy on the ground. Feel any tightness up in and around your upper chest. Feel the tightness up around the collarbones, your upper chest. Go right into the tension in the fascia around the upper ribs, around the collarbones, right into the top of your upper chest. And as you breathe out, allow that to dissolve down through your side ribs and into the earth. You may begin to start to become aware of tension at the tops of your shoulders. Feel the tightness, feel the holding on. Allow that to travel down through your upper arms, through your elbows and into the ground. Feel the tightness in your shoulders, feel the holding on in your shoulders, and let that travel down through your upper arms, through your elbows and into the earth. Become aware of the tension in your forearms, particularly under your wrists, and where your thumb connects to your hand, the mound at the base of your thumb, your wrists, the tension in your forearms. Go right into that tension. And then allow that tension to travel down through your forearms, through your elbows, and into the earth. Feel into any remaining tension through your hands, through the base of the knuckles at the base of your fingers, through the backs of your hands, through the joints of your fingers, through the tips of your fingers. Feel all the tension in your hands. Feel the holding on. And let that travel down through your forearms, down through your elbows and into the earth. And become aware of your whole body. Breathe into your whole body. Notice any remaining points of tension. So you don't have to go looking for it. As you breathe in, notice any points of tension that come up. And as you breathe out, let that tension drop into the earth. Breathe in, feel the tension in your body. Breathe out, let that go into the earth. One more, breathe into your whole body. Feel the tension. Breathe out, let it release. And then move into your head. Feel the tension around your eyes. Go into the tension around your eyes. Let that dissolve down through the back of your head and into the earth. Become aware of the tension in your nose, through your nasal cavity, through your cheekbones. Let that release down into the earth. Notice where your ears connect to your head. Feel the tension around the space where your ears connect to your head. Travel that around to the scalp and the base of your scalp, the occipital ridge. Feel the tension there. Let that dissolve down into the earth. Feel the tension in your forehead. Feel the holding on there. Know that you don't have to hold on anymore. Give yourself permission to let go of the tension in your forehead. Feel every follicle of hair on your head where it connects your scalp. Feel all the tension of every follicle of hair. And let that go. Let that dissolve into the earth, into the ground. Let the skin on your face relax. So now your whole head is relaxing, dropping, releasing into the earth. And feel your whole body relaxing. Just allow yourself to relax in the space of letting go, releasing tension, relaxation. Feel yourself completely relaxing and completely letting go. The more your body, your mind, your energy system experience this depth of space, this depth of relaxation, the more difficult it is to regain previous levels of tension. You actually can't do it. You can't go back the same old ways. The more you meditate in this way, the more your body gets used to knowing what it's like to truly relax, the less you'll go back into tension, because your body knows what it's like to have this level of awareness. And it won't be able to go back to the same level of tension. Tension will not be acceptable to your body. You'll have a new level of awareness. So set the intention to carry with you this new level of awareness, this new level of consciousness that we spoke about in the opening teaching talk, where you are opening to this new levels of relaxation, where there's more and more of the self-concept to let go of, and where natural relaxation becomes your natural state. And when you feel ready, you can start to make your way back up to sitting. Okay, so you have an opportunity to speak about your experience now.
Mine was more relaxing than what I did yesterday.
You want to say more about that?
I felt more tension release, and especially through my neck and through my pelvis and through my calf muscles, my Achilles, my brain. I felt my breath, more space in my body. And my breathing feels more expansive right now.
Okay, great. Thanks, Melon.
You're welcome.
I was moving in part of that. My hips were swaying from side to side and my head was shaking as well. What else happened was I was seeing like flashing lights in front of my eyes, which I've not experienced before. That was quite interesting. It happened 3 or 4 times. And then near the end, I just felt this smile. It's funny because I did the endurance class this afternoon, and that's how I was feeling towards the end of that. I was like not total elation, but just a real calm happiness. So that's been reinvigorated now as well. That was a really nice experience.
Thanks, Hannah.
I felt a release in my upper chest up here, which I wasn't really expecting, and I don't think we were talking about that part of the body when it happened. It was almost like I was doing a back bend without doing a back bend, because I felt like I was doing that. And that probably is a place where I hold tension, because I know I spend my life like this. So that was a welcome experience.
Great.
This was my second time doing this today. And it was different from this morning's practice. I noticed more places where I was stiffer or tighter than I did this morning's practice. And I think probably I needed a little bit more adjusting as we went through the practice today. I had to move my neck and my head a bit, check my shoulder blades and drop things, and so there was a lot of adjusting going on.
Thanks, Ivy.
I don't know. I felt very heavy in weight. Everything was so extremely heavy. So it was not unpleasant, but sometimes you can feel so light after it, but it was like everything was really, there was a weight on top of me. So very quickly my feet glide under me, so I had to let go. And also my hands, I couldn't keep them on my belly because it was too heavy. So I ended up in Shavasana, and that was that's I think the most relaxed posture for me to end. Because also the hands, then I tense up in some way, I think. So letting that go, feels better. Yeah. And I am yawning a lot now, so that's nice. It's a really good, good feeling to let go.
Nice.
And there's something else, but I don't know yet what it is. It's something deeper than the muscles, or I don't know. It's a kind of tingling, but it's not the muscle. I don't know where it is. So
Maybe in the cells?
I don't know. Maybe it feels like a very deep, I told you before that I can feel I can feel my heart beating everywhere, in my fingers, in my toes, and I feel my blood pumping and all kinds of fluid things. It's as if I'm very deep in the body.
Yeah. There are times when you do this meditation and when you're done, you feel the nadis, the prana moving through the nadis too, right?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, as if you feel the energy moving, or I don't know. It's an okay feeling, because it's, especially when you feel everything and the bones in my body. They're a bit bony. I'm a bit bony too, so feeling the system around it's quite nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had this odd experience in the beginning. The first 10 minutes like that, my legs kept falling to the left side, and every time I had to catch them more, like, it was very odd. And then when we come up to the upper body, I could feel that I have some kind of I don't want to call it intense, not strong, but very there is some sort of tension in my body, and I think I know what it is, at least what my mind thought about it. It's about relationship, and it's because I know I can't do anything about it. All I can do is to figure out my own what I can do about it for myself. I have to accept and let go. And right now it was very intense in my back, but it was more like this convincing feeling of it's there, and it won't go away.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what happens.
Yeah. It's really good to stay with the sensation of it, and to go into the sensation of it as much as you can. Like we talked about at the beginning, to go into the intenseness of the sensation, to resist the urge to go into the story of it. And as much as you can within that level of comfort, to go into the sensation and to treat it like you would any other sensation. Go into it, be just like the big toe. Go into the sensation and to let it go. The somatic sensation of it, you know. Yeah. It may not come up again. Yeah.
I would say I hope so, because it will be very interesting to see how it will travel through me, out of me. I'm looking forward to see what happens.
Yeah. Maybe
what it will happen in my life at the same time.
Yeah, there have been things that I've thought are super intense going on in my life, and I think they're going to show up in my body, and then I sit down, I go to meditation, and they don't.
Okay.
So that's that's the talk at the beginning, right? The storytelling, the I, the ego holding on. It's So the things that are coming up that are in our bodies, it's careful those. We got to be really careful about attaching the stories to them, and the I, and it's the being very much with what our body is telling us, which was, well, this is an intense sensation in my back. As soon as we go into the story, then we're going into that compulsive thinking that we talked about, right? And then we're going into separating from actually what was happening, which was there's this intense sensation in my back. So it's about staying with that intense sensation in the back, being with that. It may have to do with what was happening in your life, and it may not have to do with that relationship in your life. But being with it as purely as the experience presented itself, without going into that story, just like you would the big toe.
Yeah, I can see that, and I think that is so interesting. It makes me curious because it's almost like witnessing something. Like, for example, on TV, you can't do anything about it. You can just be with this. So
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I won't force anything, just to see what happens.
Yeah, it's like that analogy of watching it on the screen, right?
Yeah.
Great. Any other questions or thoughts or anything else in your practice that you wanted to raise when we have the opportunity here during our time together? Okay. All right. So thank you for joining us for our live class then today. Enjoy the practice this week, and I will see you next week. Thanks for joining us for the retreat this weekend as well.
Yeah, it was nice.
Hi, everybody. Have a good evening and day. Namaste.
I'm listening.
Namaste.
Bye.
Bye.